Welcome! We've been waiting for you.
Bienvenida! We are four comadres and we are so excited to have you here. I am Argelia.
I am Mindy.
I am Diana.
And I'm Janett. Join us. Grab that drink.
Get comfy, settle in, and get to know us.
As we get down with some real conversations.
And raise that glass to the true power of sisterhood.
Are you ready for us?
This is Comadres Unfiltered.
Salud! It's happening, girls.
It's happening.
This is happening.
It's
Hola,
happening.
hola, hola.
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 Hey, comadritas.
Comadritas chulas preciosas. This is happening. Welcome to Comadres Unfiltered podcast.
Do this.
So excited.
I cannot believe we are finally here. It's been a journey,
Yes, it has.
quite a bit, right?
Yes.
Intense Zoom meetings. I think the last one we had was probably the most nerve-wracking one because we were like talking about what to wear.
Yes.
But before we even get started about our podcast, who are we talking to? Why are we doing this? I mean, I'm a mommy and it's almost 9 p.m. and my kids are about to go to bed and I'm here with y'all. But you know what? We need to do the most important thing before we kick off any topic, which is salud.
Hell yeah.
Yes. You're like, ya me había tardado, ¿verdad?
Ay, pues sí. I was like, is she going to get to it?
Yeah,
or
you're like,
what?
hurry up, Archie. Janett luego agarró la
Janet,
botella.
so tell us the secret. How do you do
Wait,
this? How many
You know what? There is a trick. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's always 6 turns.
Six
to a
turns?
I
champagne
didn't know
bottle.
that.
I didn't know that either.
I'm just
Always-
sitting
I
there
just-
like,
Well,
Well, I just want to know why
nothing.
Janett was the first one to grab the bottle.
You know what? Because I always am the one to grab the bottle.
I know.
Let's get
Yes,
this
get it
shit
started.
started.
Why not? Ahí va.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I heard that. I heard that.
I love
Oye,
the sound for it.
amiga, you got so much
pour.
experience with those bottles.
You know what? We have lots of brunches.
I
We've had lots of
know.
experience.
Talking
Yeah.
about brunches,
Yes.
that was amazing what we had at your house.
Yes, we had
I
a good
cannot
time.
wait to share those pictures and those images.
And I can't wait to do it again. We
Oh
got to do
my
it
gosh.
again with our Comadre Tribe for sure.
I love what you just said.
Yes.
We are
Love
about
that.
to start a Comadre Tribe
That's right.
in our own language.
Yes.
¿Se vale o no se vale? Claro que se
vale.
Es lo que
Vale.
necesitamos
Absolutely.
for sure.
Increíble. Okay, entonces before we even get started, girls, this is it. Our first toast together. It's not a drinking party.
No.
It's a celebration party.
Yes,
So,
Indeed.
para que todo esto salga súper bonito, siempre comadres unfiltered. Salud.
Saludcita.
Comadrita, and you gotta see each other in your
Salud,
eyes,
honey.
okay? Salud.
Salud.
Salud, honey.
Mwah.
Salud.
Now that felt good.
Ay, qué rico.
Yes.
Qué rico.
Riquísimo.
Ahora sí a
Riquísimo.
celebrar.
I'm just going to hold it.
I love that. Well,
That felt good,
right? I think we needed it.
Good.
I mean, after months, like this is where we're getting this started. We're getting the party started.
I have to admit, and I'm gonna say something that Janett wanted to do instead of whatever we're drinking here. She wanted to bring the tequila, but se nos pasó el tequila.
Listen,
So, como
we are
buenas
going to get the
mexicanas,
tequila out for many of the other. You guys are going to join us on a couple
Yes.
more podcasts, and you know what? We need to bring the tequila at some point.
I'm on a
As a
journey
good
to- yeah.
tapatía, we got to bring the
Oh,
tequila.
Pues por eso me extraña que nos trajiste la botella de tequila.
I
I mean,
know.
you brought some beautiful
me
tequila
fue el
bottles, but they're
avión.
just decor.
I know.
Listen,
Next time.
I'm on a journey to learn about more about tequila.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll have to sample different ones
Well,
every
you
week.
know what?
Maybe a tequila tasting.
There is one
Yes.
thing I'll never forget about Diana, which, you know what? Can we introduce ourselves first?
Oh,
before we
yes.
start? Oh, my
That's
goodness.
a
I'm so
great
sorry.
idea.
I'm so sorry. Okay. Introductions, please. I am Argelia. You can call me Argie. Okay.
Okay.
I am Mindy.
I'm Diana.
And I'm Janett.
And together we are
Comadres Unfiltered.
Okay, I need one
Like
more
a bell.
drink. I need one more drink.
One more.
Okay, yeah,
We gotta
I needed
toast
that
to
one
that.
drink. So I'll never forget the very first day that I brought you ladies to this room. It was completely empty. It was completely bare. I mean, it was just boring gray and white walls. We had a little table and we had that sofa and we had a bottle of tequila thanks to Diana.
Yes.
Remember? We were going to celebrate. We had just celebrated my birthday and
yes.
our
February
birthdays,
birthdays.
February birthdays. We were down the
Yeah.
street having amazing sushi, by the way. And we came here and we were here probably till almost midnight, remember?
Yes.
It was late.
Okay, so let's tell our new audience how this dream or this passion project started, right? So a few people might know my face. They might be familiar with my voice. I've been in the radio industry for 20 plus years. TV industry as well. That's how I started, really. I started in TV first and then radio. Now I'm exploring the podcast world. And a little bit of history. A year ago, I actually ventured into the podcast world. Do you guys have your own podcast? No, ¿verdad?
No.
So this is your first podcast
First
too.
ever.
So I started a year ago with my podcast in Spanish. Necesitaba escucharlo con Argelia Atilano, which is pretty much me sharing my thoughts, my feelings, my thinking out loud as a mommy, as a sister, as a daughter, as a wife. I vented. Pobre Omar. And this year has been very interesting because not too long ago, you know, Omar, my husband, and I launched our new show. Yes, I work with my husband, and we will talk about that as well. Mm-hmm. And I felt the need to have something of my own. And I know I had my podcast from last year in Spanish, but I still felt that there was something missing. And so I kind of gave it a spin-off. And I think I'm going to get some heat from Spanish speakers only. Pero les prometo que necesitaba escucharlo con Argelia Atilano. Vuelve. No ha muerto ese podcast. Pero tenía que nacer uno nuevo. A new one had to come up to fulfill the void that I was feeling when I was shooting the other one. I just felt like I needed company. I felt lonely many times writing my notes, and I felt like I need banter, I need laughter, I need complicity, I need connection, I need support. And when I came up with this new project without having a name, I knew I couldn't do this alone. And I needed women in my life that have been there for me for many, many years. And I needed women that are not afraid to speak up. And I needed women that want to use their voice for something bigger and better than yourselves, right? And so I thought of you three.
Thank you.
I thought of you three.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And I'll never forget the day I brought it up at your house,
Yes.
Dee, where we ended up in tears. Well, first you cried
Yeah.
and you yelled, or you yelled and you cried,
I cried.
and Janett was frozen.
I was shocked.
Janett was like this.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And you know what, Janett? I don't think I ever told you this, amiga, but I was afraid you were going to say no. I really was afraid you were going to say no. I was like, oh, I got her and her in the can. Because, Mindy, you're going to talk and share about the thought that you had the night before. But I was really worried about Janett and not wanting to do this. And so before we get into your brain and your heart, well, I just want to ask you each girl, why did you say yes to me that day? And why are you here today? Here with me with the
God, this is just so special. Seriously, so special, because if you girls remember, before planning this brunch at Diana's house, 3 days prior to that, I had this incredible idea of proposing that we all do a podcast.
Isn't that crazy?
You did.
That's
That's
crazy.
wild.
And the reason why was because all of us have such natural, wonderful, awesome conversations.
All the time.
All of our brunches or dinners have been so exciting. And I just kept thinking, we have such great energy, and we go back over 20 years. 60 years collectively. Like,
Oh,
if you
wow.
think about that, that's a lot.
But we're not
Yes.
that old.
That's a lot. That's a lot. No, we're
not
not.
do that
Nowhere
math.
near 60.
20.
Do not do that
20, 20,
le agregues.
exactly. But I just thought, my God, the energy that we have, everything flows so incredible all the time. And we laugh, belly laughs, tears. I mean, we've been through so much together,
we
all
have.
of us.
We have.
We have history, you know, since we were single, and then we became moms and all that great stuff. So I was in complete shock, Comadrita, when you said, guys, I got something to share. I want to ask you something.
What did you think I was going to ask? Or
I wasn't sure, but I thought, oh my goodness, is she actually going to propose a podcast? And I was holding back. I'm like, oh my God, don't interrupt. Let it go. Let it go.
So this whole time your heart was like,
my heart was palpitating like crazy. I'm like, there's no way. There's no freaking way. No freaking way. And then it just came out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And it was the happiest moment of my life. Seriously,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, are you kidding me? And then I shared it with you girls.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think it meant the world to me because we had just opened up our hearts about other personal stuff, and I know that
Yes,
you had just
yes.
shared something very, very deep. And so for
Yes.
me to propose this out of the blue, and I just felt like it was meant to be. I think
Yeah.
the
Meant to
universe.
be.
The right timing.
It was
for
right timing
sure.
because I think that we had postponed our brunch a few times
few
because of
times.
weather or because I
couldn't
was
make
out.
traveling, you were sick.
Yeah, I couldn't make
Yeah.
it one time.
Right?
Exactly.
And this whole time, girls, I was like, oh man, I have to wait longer to tell them because
Oh.
that was the reason why I wanted to meet with you all. So every time I kept postponing or something happened, I was like, oh darn it, like there he goes again. I'm just gonna have to wait. But here we are. Diana, why did you say yes to this?
Wow. Well, that I had at the end of last year, I had a really rough year, as you guys know. I'm going through divorce, and I was just like, I had my goal set in mind at the end of the year. I was like, I am going to get back into my career because I've been a stay-at-home mom for right now. Like I haven't worked in a full-time job for over 6 years. And when I had my kids, I put my entertainment producer news hat, I kind of put it in the back of the closet. I had been doing other things, being a mom for the most part, helping my mom, my dad who got sick and passed away, and building a house and all this other stuff. And my career was kind of just in the back burner.
That's a lot.
And it was for many years. I went to school. To be a journalist. I wanted to be on air. And I kind of just put all of that, like, I put my husband at the time and my kids and everything. I put that in the forefront, and I have no regrets. But man, I know I was born to like communicate and be on air and shine. And one of the things, people always tell me is, God, you've got this energy about you. And the more I hung out with you guys and shared my story and my struggles and all the conversations we have every time we're together, like you said, Mindy.
Yes.
I mean, we can all relate in one way or another, and we all support each other so much. We make each other laugh. We hug each other. We give each other advice or just listen.
Yes.
And I think there's so many women out there going through transitions. I mean, I just turned 45, and I feel like I'm ready for this. And you approaching me and saying, do you want to be part of this podcast was like, yes, because I said to myself at the end of last year, when everybody's, at the end of the year, you watch all these Instagram stories and everybody's putting out their goals for the year. One of them was, I want to get my career back. Like, I want to be either a producer again and I was at the beginning of the year, I was interviewing for jobs and out there networking again. And when you brought this up, I was like, this is it. This is it. God put this opportunity here for me, and I'm going to go for it because I've had a lot of self-doubt for many years. And I'm like, no more.
But thank
No
you
more.
for
Yes.
jumping on the project. But I do have bad news for you. I can't pay you. That's
okay.
That's
okay.
I can't pay you with those other job opportunities are probably, so take the jobs, okay? Because you're still going to have this podcast. But I cannot pay you, ladies.
It's okay.
We're not getting paid, by the way. We
not.
aren't. If you only knew everything that half the decor in
went
this
through.
room is from our homes, right, Janet?
That's
Yes.
right.
We're like, tráete la mesa, tráete las sillas,
La
tráete
almohada.
mis almohadas. These are from my bedroom. Bella is like, Mommy, where are the soft pillows? Girl,
They're gone.
they're in my podcast room.
It's true.
I mean, yeah, but thank you so much. I mean, but God willing, God is so great.
Yes,
that
he is.
something will come along and
Yes.
we will be able to monetize. But that is not the purpose of this
Exactly.
passion project. We are not doing this for money, even though sponsors are welcomed. If you want to sponsor us, with your drinks, we will take that and have a
Yes,
conversation.
yes,
But
yes.
that is not our main mission. Our main mission here is to be with each other and uplift each other.
Have a good time.
Have a good time. I
Yes.
feel like we
Have a
are
really
doing
good
so
time.
much. We're wearing so many hats that sometimes we need to get away from home. We need to get
right.
away from our husbands, from our kids that we adore, to be able to be with each other. So, Janett, amiga, me hiciste sufrir, güey. Me hiciste sufrir. You made me suffer. I went home thinking,
Yeah.
I don't know if Janett's in yet. I have a feeling she's going to like text us or call us or meet up and say, girls, I thought about it. I don't know. No te vi convencida. Because we weren't even,
just too busy.
We weren't
I thought.
even in meetings yet when she was all. You were already like, girls, we need to get a planner. We need to do this. Yeah. Like you were scaring me. I was like,
I am a planner. Yeah.
Yes.
When it comes to, and I want to have all. I'm a researcher by heart, right? So yes. So when you brought this up that day. It was a lot to take in, right? And I think for every reason that all of you guys just mentioned, I think I was in the same boat, you know. I had a career for over 10 years and I was on air. And that's partly how Argie and I met, you know. I was working at Mundos and Telemundo at the time, and you were working at Univision. And we met at the mini junkets that we had to cover and the red carpets. And
that we loved
that
and hated sometimes.
I had the best time at. And I had a wonderful, wonderful time and a wonderful career in my 20s. It was the best. And I'm sure we'll get into that.
Oh, yeah.
And then I worked behind camera, right? And then I started working at networks like E, you know, behind the camera as a producer. And so when my kids came, you know, I had them back to back.
You did?
Unknowingly or unplanned,
You
I
had
should
those
say.
Irish twins.
I did. I had 2 babies, both October babies, 1 year apart, you know, and when the second one hit, like my life changed, right? I started getting a little anxiety, starting to go back to work, and then my life shifted by choice. You know, I wanted to dedicate my time to my kids, and so I stepped away from Janett a little bit and became mommy, right? And I think so many of us do that when we have our kids. And even if we are multitasking and maybe working, you know, it's just there's so much that pulls us in so many directions at either time.
It does.
And so when you asked me, you know, it's been, you know, my kids are older now, and you know, I've been dabbling back into, you know, maybe getting back into production. And when you proposed it, I just didn't know how ready I was yet, right? Because you have to consider all of the things that are now going to have to shift, or you're going to have to make room for this now.
Exactly.
And when I say yes, I want to make sure that I'm all in.
Yeah.
And so I had time to brew. And, you know, the truth is that I think us in our 40s, you know, which we are now, and I'm just a so much more, I feel, complete person and just so much more multifaceted than I was in my 20s. And, you know, the person I was in my 20s was so fun, but oh my
You're
gosh.
still fun.
No,
you
but-
are still fun.
But what I mean is there's so many more layers,
Yes.
right, to us now. And
Yes.
that's the fun part. That
Yes,
is the fun
yes,
part, that
yes.
we
I
are
agree.
so much more, and we have so much more to say.
Yes.
And I'll say it now, right?
Say it, girl. Say
You
it.
know, and I'll say it. I'm just saying, in our 40s, we say it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't hold back. We don't worry about the things that are going to, you know, land maybe differently on other people. We're still worried about that. We're still take care of it, but we
Sí.
say it.
Sí.
And so when you presented the idea, I'm like, I have a lot to say.
You
And-
do. And I, you
I'm-
know what? And that's
yeah.
exactly how I feel. So as you know, almost 17 years of marriage with Omar,
No.
20 plus years working with him. And yes, I've had a radio show with him all these years. And you would think that I've said enough. But if you only knew
Right.
how many times I felt like I couldn't say what I really wanted to say
Yeah.
on my own radio show.
Right.
And not that he's stopping me, it's just that it wasn't enough time, or it wasn't the right platform, or maybe I did feel a little bit not intimidated by Omar, but maybe like it wasn't the right moment,
Right.
because maybe he's not the right company for that topic or for that reaction.
Totally.
So I always felt like, particularly this year, where we're spreading our wings on our own independently by starting our own company and saying goodbye to all these companies that we've worked for in the past. But I feel like it's time that Argelia really speaks her truth.
Yes.
Sin pena, sin miedo, sin que me juzguen allá afuera, o que me juzguen.
Sí,
Yeah.
You know, but I
that's
need
it.
to really
So
be
true.
as transparent and as as much as I can, and the only way for that to happen was for me to create this space.
Absolutely.
Pero obviamente I need my girls, you know? I mean, I have the best conversations with my girlfriends.
Yes.
Yes.
And mind you, I feel like there's going to be jealousy And then, because I've been blessed with a lot of great friends in my life.
Yes.
Muchas de ellas están escuchando ahorita.
Ooh.
They're listening right now, and they're gonna be like, "What the heck, man? Why am I not in this project?" Because it's such a beautiful project that we're creating, girls.
It really is.
But honestly, it also comes down to who lives closer to the podcast room. Honestly,
Distance
who's
matters.
gonna spend less money in gas? It does matter. That's why I think the universe and God conspires in a beautiful way, because we're so close to each other physically.
Yes.
We're like in the same neighborhood where we can just pick up our stuff and go to the podcast room for recording, for meetings. And I'm not saying that my other friends wouldn't drive for me, but it is when you're a mom, and you're a working mom and you're a professional, distance does play a huge factor,
really
especially
does.
in LA.
Oh, yeah.
And we've made more time for each other, right?
Exactly.
We see each other more often
Yeah.
because of that distance, that close distance,
Yeah.
which just allows for more conversations to happen, which allows for us to just become closer too,
Exactly.
and see all those different layers that I just spoke about.
Yeah.
So it's the right time.
I know. And also the reason why you're here too is because I feel like it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have a
Absolutely.
special connection with
100%.
each one of you. I have
Yes.
history with Mindy that we're going to
Yes.
get into it. I have
Yes.
a short history with Diana, but in
Yeah.
a short amount of time.
It's the shortest history.
It's the shortest
Yeah.
history compared to, 20
Right.
plus years.
Right.
I think, 20 plus years, right?
20 plus.
I'm the one that knows each one of you 20 years.
Yeah, 20
Yes.
years. So, and Diana, I know that you're the shortest lived friendship that we've.
Right.
But you know what? It's not even about time. It's about quality.
Yeah.
And the time that I
So
spent
true.
with you has been amazing, and it's been impactful, and it's been meaningful. And the fact that you've opened up to me to share so many deep, strong moments that you've been going through, it just says a lot about the trust that you're
have.
giving me. And so I need trust in this project, and you guys have given me the trust, and hopefully I can give you that trust to
You absolutely do.
Oh,
and I
my
promise you
gosh.
this is going to be one of the funnest
Absolutely.
things we've ever done in our entire freaking life.
Yes.
And it's-
Cheers to that. Again, otro brindis. ¿Por qué no?
One more.
Porque, I mean,
Salud.
there's so much to celebrate today.
Salud.
It's scary
Why?
and exciting.
Yes.
Yes, it
It
is.
should
Right?
be scary.
It is scary because we are going to talk about all those things that we talk behind the scenes.
Yes.
Right. And now and a lot of our girlfriends we talk about, but maybe we don't talk in public, right? And we need to have those conversations. But they're conversations that we've been
Yes.
having in private.
Real.
And talking about
Not
scary.
anymore.
Real
Do
conversations,
you
right,
think
Mindy?
that our husbands, partners, are scared?
Shaking in their boots.
Yes.
They are.
Like really.
Yes.
Okay.
They wanna know.
Yo le dije a Omar, mira, mi amor, I love you, but this is my project, and whatever I say on my show, on our show, Janett, Mindy's, and Diana's, it's you cannot question it, because it's coming from my perspective as a woman, as
That's right.
Argelia antes de ser la esposa. So he gets it. But I think he's a little bit nervous.
So is he
I'm-
going to listen?
I'm
Do you
not-
think he'll be
little nervous.
listening?
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
I know he's listening. You know what I think?
Hi, Omar.
Hi, baby.
Don't
Hi,
be
baby.
scared, Omar.
Dile algo a
Don't
tu
be scared.
compa. Dile algo a tu
Compa, please don't be scared. It's going to be okay.
And I'll tell you, compa, be scared.
Is Carl scared?
You know what? He's excited.
Really?
I think, but he for sure is nervous. He's like, what are you going to talk about? Are you gonna talk about
How much
you
are
know,
you
and
going
it's
to
just like
say?
you'll listen when everybody else does,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
just what it is, because this is about us. It's our perspective of our lives, and everything and every topic that we have to cover on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
Kids, family, love, sex, everything in
Todo.
between.
Yes, you said it. Sex.
Right?
All of it.
Ama, este podcast no es para usted.
Children,
Or maybe it is. Or maybe it is.
Maybe it is. That's right.
Mira la mamá. Oye, golosa.
They can learn a thing or two.
They could learn
right?
a thing or two.
And definitely not our kids, though. We
No.
don't want our
No.
Kids,
no
probably-
kids,
probably
teenagers.
Nuestras
You'll
mamis,
be bored. You
Nuestras
will be
mamis
bored.
pueden escuchar, but definitely not our kids.
No.
You know what this is a good podcast for? The sobrinas.
Sí.
Or the
Yeah.
little cousins, the ones in their 20s.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were
Yes.
just talking to a couple of them. Like it's a really good to get a perspective from a little bit of even your future.
Yes.
And
Yes.
maybe see a little bit into that, and make decisions
I like
for yourself.
For guidance, for
Yes.
advice. We have failed many times,
Yes.
in our lifetime, in our careers as a wife. I'll share those things. As a daughter, I am not your perfect Mexican daughter,
That's
which we will be
right.
talking about that in one of our episodes. But I think it's important for the young generation to say and see, wow, like if these women were able to go through all that and still shine like we are doing right now, then that means there is hope for me, right? And so we become inspiration, we become motivation, we become something that they can hopefully look up to, right?
And maybe they don't have someone in their lives,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
I didn't. I don't remember there being like a cool group of 40-something women that were, you
wanted
know,
to
that
Back in the day, 40-something was freaking old.
I know.
And we are
You know what I'm
not
thinking about?
old.
I'm thinking about the women from The View, and I remember being like, oh,
Or
no.
the Golden Girls. Oh,
Golden Girls, exactly.
Yo veía a mi mamá a los 47, mi mamá está viejita.
Yes.
Pero no, yo digo,
Okay.
yo 49,
But I'm
I am
so-
not viejita.
Yes.
Oh yeah, but I'm
yes.
sorry. I don't think our moms looked this good in their 40s. No por nada, pero
this
come on.
takes work. Hell yeah.
Womenhood has changed quite a bit, I have to
Yes.
say. I
Yeah.
mean, we are holding it up.
Oh, yeah.
We're really holding it up.
Yeah.
Our kids are looking up to us now and
See.
telling us how good we look, right?
I'm
our
not like
age.
any mom. I'm a cool mom.
Yes, I am.
I'm
too.
a
You know,
cool
it's so
mom.
funny.
At least we say that. Our kids don't.
Oye,
say
hay que
that.
echarnos porras, ¿no? I think one of the best compliments I've gotten from my daughters is when, ahorita mamá va a decir, cringe moment, and it might be a cringy moment, but Camila has told me, Mommy, boys my age follow you. And they
Oh.
say things, and I'm like, that's my mom, guys. And I'm like,
Wow.
todavía paro el
I get that
tráfico.
too.
O sea, quiero parar el
Funny.
tráfico en la calle, pero no con chamacos,
no, of
con
course.
crías,
Yes.
you know? So I'll
And
take
we
it as a
have
compliment.
entered.
Yes.
We have
I'm like, I still
entered
got
that
it going
space.
on.
Yes, yes.
Or what about
Ni modo.
those teenage boys wearing those hot moms t-shirts?
Oh my God, I have not seen those yet.
haven't seen that.
I have.
You know what? I'm a little bit concerned with Annabella because the other day she did say, Mommy, you're a MILF. And I'm like,
Oh, that's a compliment.
but you know what that means.
Yes, I do.
I'm
But
the
they.
Does everybody know?
But do they? So the first time I heard
Oh.
that term, I was in college, okay? When I
Yes.
discovered the word and what it meant. For my 13-year-old to tell me, Mommy, you're a MILF. Wait,
Ooh.
excuse me? First of all, I'm driving, casi choco la aventura, and I'm like, you are 13 and you know what that means?
Oh, girl,
She's
they
like,
know what everything means.
everybody knows what that means. And I'm like,
Okay, the lights are back on.
Oh wow.
are we in the girls, what was that?
Ooh, lights went out.
We are so hot that we had a Beyonce moment. Remember the Super Bowl?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
Lights
right.
went out.
Lights went out while we are recording our first episode.
Oh, wait, if
so
we had
was-
Beyonce moment, we would have fans
Sabes
right
que
now.
sí.
With her hair.
But I'll never forget when
some
Beyonce, this happened to her at that Super Bowl and all the
That's
lights went
right.
out.
Yes.
We just had a Beyonce moment. Cheers to that.
The show must go on.
We're comparing
The show
ourselves to
must go on.
Beyonce.
Estamos calientes.
Estamos tan calientes, coma, que hasta la luz se nos fue.
You know what? I believe in that.
You
That's
wanna-
exactly why it happened.
That topic of
Era
MILF
buena
was,
suerte.
was so hot
Oh
that
my
I think
God,
that's
so
what
what
it was.
happened?
I know. Okay, so
No,
MILF.
it's nada that I was just
Wait,
shocked
did you
that-
make her define what MILF was
No,
to you?
I kind of moved on. I was like, you know what? I have to go home. I was like, I do not. But she knew.
Did you tell Omar?
No. Omar is finding out right now. I don't even think that Omar knows the term.
Should we,
do you think
should we
you
tell
know?
him what it is?
What's the term,
know.
Diana?
See,
What's
next
the term?
time
You
you,
do know the
don't know how to
term.
answer a question.
Okay.
A friend of mine just told me this. Every time that a topic comes up that she doesn't want to answer, she has a coughing fit.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
love
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that.
Choking. She's choking.
Oh my gosh. So anyways.
Okay,
yeah.
so what does it mean?
Yeah. What is MILF?
No, you know what that means.
I don't know exactly.
Mindy, no te
Stop it,
hagas.
Mindy.
No, I
No
don't.
te hagas.
Do you want the clean version or the dirty version?
Oh wow, give me the
Mother,
no,
I'd
no,
like
no.
to get dirty with. How about that?
What?
Mother,
No, okay.
I'd
No.
like to.
You're being so like, ay,
Diana,
santita.
bueno, pues.
Let's be honest.
Don't be santita.
Don't be a santita.
Oye, ahora sí, oye.
It's episode
Janett la
one.
santita.
Ay,
de
por
salsa
favor.
de los
Drink
lagos.
up. Drink up. Drink up.
Tequila.
Let loose.
Okay, Diana, just lay it.
Okay. It is Mother, I'd like to fuck.
That's
What?
right.
Come on, Mindy. You didn't know that?
Okay, what's the clean version?
Mother, I'd like to friend.
Yeah, okay.
Is
that's
the clean
right.
version.
I'm hoping.
So maybe
is
they
it
just
from
want to be
American
your
Pie?
friend. They just want to be your
Wow.
friend.
I'm hoping
Argelia.
and praying that that's the one that Bella knows.
Yes.
Yeah, they just wanna be
Comadre,
your
okay.
friend.
No,
That's
espérenme.
all.
La comadre who likes to paint the town since she was in her teens does not know what that term means.
I did not know exactly what.
Wait, and do you know what a DILF is?
No, I don't want to know.
No, I don't.
Dad.
Dad
version.
We are
it's-
learning
yeah,
here today.
replace the M with dad.
Oye, los
Oh,
oídos vírgenes
wow.
de Mindy.
I know.
That's
She learned
it.
something
Ay,
new
por
today.
favor.
Even I can learn something new. That's pretty
Mindy,
awesome.
do you
I can-
remember American Pie? I think that's where it started.
Yes, I
no?
think that's where it
Like,
started.
yes.
Oh, right, Stifler.
Stifler's mom. Yes.
Wow, we're going way back,
got it
girls.
going
We're
on.
way back.
Yes.
Oye,
love it.
I can't wait for Andres to receive you.
Oh my gosh, tell me about it. And by the way, Andy said, "Go ahead, babe. Just talk openly. Say whatever you want."
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Quiere que hablemos de él.
Oh, really?
Oh, he
Okay.
wants you to share stories about
He
him.
said, "I'm not afraid. I'm not nervous. You go ahead." And,
Cheers
you know,
to him.
I'm
Have
like,
at
I
it.
love
Oh, yes.
Cheers
Cheers
to
to
him.
único.
Yes.
El único.
I don't have to worry about that, so.
Ah, Diana, ahorita tú estás libre como el viento. Libre como el viento. Peligrosa como el mar. Ay, ya se nos subió, ¿eh?
Name that tune. Name that tune.
¿Quién canta? ¿Quién canta?
Luis Miguel.
Yes.
Wow,
Of course.
yes.
Okay,
Ay,
goes,
ay,
yeah,
ay.
en serio. Vamos a, let's tell our women, our new Comadre Tribe,
Yes.
how did we meet? How did we come about? They must be wondering, hablan con tanta confianza. I bet you anything that right now there are women listening and say, man, I wish I had that kind of camaraderie. Camaraderie, I think, comes from comadre.
Yes, there
right?
you go.
Camaraderie, friendship. You know that I get that a lot when my followers see pictures of me with you girls or with any of my girlfriends. That comes up so many times. Like, I love the friendships that you have. It looks like you have so much fun with them. You hang out with them. You go out to lunches. You guys do spas. you go out on trips. And you know what? I do that.
Yeah.
So I think they want to know, or let's reminisce. Let's take it back, to 20 years
Yes.
and share, how did we come across? How
guys-
did we cross paths?
20 years was only kindergarten, so.
Totalmente. Casi. Para empezar,
We were very young.
we were very young.
Do you
Very-
remember that?
Éramos
Yeah,
pañales.
exactly.
But I do want to say, I guess within us four, the first friend was Mindy.
Yep.
Was Mindy before I met, well, we
Yeah.
won't get to Janett because thanks to you, I met Janett. So, empezamos contigo. You want to share how we met, Mindy?
Why don't you start that? How we met is let's
Okay.
do it. And
I started my career in TV, Telemundo, reportera de espectáculos,
yes.
and I needed to interview celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
And back in the day, it was you get to your office, you check your voicemail, remember? Messages from
Totally.
the record labels.
Yeah.
I think the emails were already kicking in, but I still didn't get like celebrity interviews through emails. It was all phones.
Phone calls.
And
Fax machine.
it was fax machines and phones, and I remember always getting
dating
yes.
ourselves.
Oh my gosh,
Pero
I
sí es
know.
cierto.
I remember always checking my voicemail, and it was always Sony or Warner Music or esta
Universal,
yeah,
BMG,
Universal.
Sony. Oh yeah.
BMI.
El record label latino, ¿cómo se llamaba el que?
Fonovisa.
Es Fonovisa.
Back in the day, Fonovisa.
Back in the day,
Yes.
Fonovisa, and that's how I met Mindy because back at the time you
was
were
working at Warner
Music.
Yes.
And so this sexy voice would leave me a message saying, "Hey, I have
hey
can
girl.
can you imitate con esa voz?"
Hey girl, I got an artist for you.
And who are these artists? Who are the
Alejandro
artists?
Sanz,
Ooh,
Cristian
so many.
Castro, Maná.
That's right.
Y pues
Wow.
I needed to cover artists.
Yeah.
And so eventually we finally, would meet at these celebrity interviews, one-on-ones. Y empezó la relación. It was strictly business.
Yes.
Right, Coma? And then when I went into radio, that's when I started to see more of Mindy because she would come to the station
Yes.
and bring me the celebrity. And it was just,
But I want to back up a little bit,
Oh.
comadrita.
are you going to share those stories?
So well, when we first met, when we were
Yeah.
interviewing all my artists, right away I knew like that's my girl. Like I just had this chemistry, this feeling that I'm like, she's such a great girl, and I just love her energy. You were so humble, also beautiful, humble, all the artists loved you.
Era bien novata, la verdad. No sabía, no, era bien novatita, la verdad. I
Yes,
think you caught me
yes.
in my, obviously you caught me in my baby
Yes.
steps, and I was very insecure, very nervous always interviewing stars because I felt like I had to, because, you know, like
you
I was,
pulled it off because it didn't show.
but I
But
was,
deep down
thank you for
inside,
that.
huh?
Thank you for that.
Deep inside, you were a little bit nervous, but I
was.
really, really liked you so much, and I thought, you know what? I want to get to know her more.
And then she started to call me at 10 p.m. Me decía,
Dude.
Let's go
hey,
out.
Argie.
On your flip phone?
Me
available?
decía, no, me decía, pinche Cristian Castro, tiene hambre. Gotta take him to eat pizza. Acompáñame, ¿no? 'Cause no, I can't be by himself. Y yo como soltera, I was living with my mom in East LA.
right.
It's like, I gotta
I'm
wake
coming.
up at 3:30 in the morning to go to radio. But back in the day, I had so much energy. I was young.
Yes, yes.
Y ahí iba.
And when Cristian
Con mi
Castro
carrito.
calls,
Yeah.
I mean,
Chuti,
very
My
I
chuti
remember
carrito.
it,
I would
yeah.
go and meet her at the restaurant,
Oh, yeah.
Beverly Hills, Westwood,
Yeah.
West
Ago,
LA.
remember Ago?
Ago.
Yeah.
And I would have pizza with Cristian Castro, with Alejandro Sanz,
Oh, yeah.
with Pablo Montero.
Yay. Come on
Everybody.
down, RG. We need you over here, you know. And she's like, coming over.
Coming over.
Coming right over.
Imagínate
That's right.
comer pizza con un artista, ¿no? I was more
So
excited
much
about
fun.
just being in the room. It wasn't really
Yes.
about me being a groupie because I don't consider myself a groupie, but there was something fun about hanging out with Mindy in that room, in that space. I just felt, I'm gonna say it, cool. I just felt like, wow, I'm
Yeah.
in the room, you know,
Yeah.
in this industry.
It was,
But
it was great.
fun. We had great
Such
times.
great
After that,
times.
we just partied like crazy,
Oh, yeah.
clubbing.
And
I
there
mean,
are stories in there.
Oh, there were
That
stories.
we'll release
These
some
are
of
like
those
we could do a
stories.
whole podcast on just the stories.
There were
I'm sure.
stories with
There are lots of
Mindy,
stories.
trips to Santa Barbara, elevators, limos.
Elevators.
We
Backstage.
backstage.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I can't
so
wait to hear
much.
these
Painting the
stories.
town was her term.
Painting the
Coma.
town.
Well,
Oh,
back
my
then we weren't
goodness.
comies. Back then we were just amigas, ¿verdad?
We
What
were
are
just
comadres?
friends.
We need to explain
Comadres.
comadres.
You know what? Yeah, you think
We haven't said that. We haven't.
what,
Yeah.
what is a comadre? Before we get into
Well,
how we all
in,
met.
in slang, comadres means a close friend.
A very
dear
close friend. A
Comadre.
very
Right.
dear
Yeah.
friend. Obviously, in religious terms, when we have children, we choose our best, closest friend to be the comadre because
godparent.
if
The
I were
godparents.
to not be here one day,
Mm-hmm.
my comadre, in this case Mindy, would take over and guide my daughter, Annabella, in this case, because
Yes.
she's your ahijada. Because
Yes,
Mindy
yes. We're
baptized
actual real
Annabella.
comadres.
We're real comadres. Thanks to the friendship that we built throughout the years, you know, and so that's a beautiful thing to know that you can part this world knowing that
Yes.
your daughter or your son is in great hands, being guided by this one person, which, you know, here was one of your best friends, and so
Yes.
I
comadre,
love it. And
thank
I love
you for
your
that,
daughter.
you know, and my daughter
Annabella.
Annabella thinks the
so
world of you,
wonderful.
so
So
yeah.
blessed.
So that's what comadres is.
Yes.
It's literally, it's practically like sisterhood. No
Yeah.
crees?
See,
Yes, like a
totally.
sister.
It really
It's a
is.
sisterhood.
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 And we are real comadres as well.
Them too.
So let's share how you two
Yeah.
met, and then we're gonna connect the dots. How we
I mean,
formed.
I'll go quickly. You know,
Yeah.
Diana and I met at LATV. I don't know if anybody's familiar with LATV. It was almost like the bilingual MTV, you know, of the time. And I mean, a blast. We just had the best time
Yes.
there.
I loved
And so
LATV.
Diana was working there. We met there. And you were there a few years, and then we later reconnected
Yep.
when we were both working at E
Yes.
Entertainment. Mindy and I, we worked at also LATV and through another mutual friend,
Yes,
Patricia,
yes.
and we met,
Patricia.
and
Patty
we-
Longlegs.
Patty
That's
Longlegs.
right.
Shout
Shout out to
out.
Patty
Yes.
Shout out.
Ella ahorita dando martillazos.
Sí.
Building homes.
construyendo
casas.
Beautiful homes, by the
Beautiful.
way.
Yes. And we met through Patty. And then Argie, we had cross paths, like I said earlier, you know, through the junket circuit and then also on the carpet because I was doing, now at that point I was working at Mundos, which was the
Yes.
next year.
Yeah.
And, but we sat down, I still remember this. We sat down next to each other at Mindy's birthday party.
amazing birthday
and
party.
you had hip hop going on in the background, right? We sat down and
That was a party, girl.
That was a party.
O sea, Mindy, si algo sabía hacer y sabe hacer,
yes,
she knows how to
that's
get
right.
down and throw the best parties.
That's right.
Keep
I
them
was a
coming,
nightclub
girlfriend.
promoter,
right.
so I was good at that.
Yeah, she was a nightclub promoter, so
It was
that was
the
your
best
craft.
time. And so I sat next to Argie, and then we started chatting, and then it got to like, where are you from? And she mentioned that her parents were from Jalisco, and I was like, that's a coincidence. So are mine. And whereabouts? Yeah, we're close to Guadalajara. Yes, so are mine. And wait a minute, like where? We're like from San Juan de los Lagos. Well, backstory: Argelia's family and my family are both from the same small town in Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah.
which
What a
is
coincidence.
wild
Crazy.
because
Yes.
you have these two girls who are on camera who are, you know, living this new life, right? Because of where we came from and all our shared history. And after that, it was just like, what, like, how did this this is not a coincidence, right? And our friendship started from that moment on.
Yeah.
We just had this connection.
Oh, I love it.
And then, you know, fast forward, which we'll get to, you know, in later on, but now our moms are traveling, and with your aunt, you know, your tia in Mexico
Tengo una
with my
tía
mom.
que se llama, tengo
Yes,
una
Argelia.
tía en San Juan de los Lagos, because that's where my family's from, like Janett said, que se llama Argelia.
That's right.
Matter of fact, I'm named after her.
Yeah.
My dad and mi tía Argelia were best cousins, and my dad said, un día voy a tener una nena y le voy a poner Argelia, prima, se lo prometo. Well, guess
That's
what? He kept his promise.
kept
And
his promise.
the second child, you know, which was me, it was my dad's turn to name the second child. And so he said, hey, I'm keeping my word. Y va a ser Argelia. So my tía Argelia is literally the first Argelia I've ever met in my life. And what a small world. My tía Argelia travels with
Janett sent Archie a picture, and I'm like, my mom is like traveling and partying, and she tells me this is your tia, and she's like, oh my God, that's mi tia Argelia. So, of course, our you know, they're living their best retired life out there.
Which hopefully that's going to be you and me one day.
That's right. It
All
will.
of us.
Que Mazatlán, que Acapulco, que Puerto Vallarta.
Igualitas.
Increíble,
Girls
¿no?
trips.
So
I
what a
love it.
beautiful connection, right?
I just love it that my party brought you
Yes.
guys
Yes,
together.
yes.
It did.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
then
Mindy, let's get this straight. Your parties brought a lot of people together.
Yes, yes, yes,
God, I love
yes,
that.
yes.
More
I remember
parties.
that
Yes.
party. It was an iconic party. I remember that you were so busy hosting everyone.
Oh, yeah.
And Janett and I were andamos de metiches.
Yes.
Like the place was phenomenal, and we were like, I think we even landed in the office, which was very like.
It was a museum.
yeah, it was a
It
museum.
was like
I
the
loved
Godfather office. I was like, whoa.
My home was like a museum.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
we had the most interesting
Art.
neighbors.
Yes.
J-Lo had a place right upstairs.
J-Lo?
Yeah.
J-Lo.
Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez.
Era tu vecina.
Jasmine Blythe was my neighbor, 2 doors down from my door. Isaiah Washington, the actor, was 2 doors down. I had a super famous photographer who did Shakira's cover for the album, Firuz Zahedi, which we became great friends, right across the door from me.
Increíble.
So we lived in a awesome building.
Yeah, it was
Down
That
the
was
street
a
from the
fun
Grove.
building.
I had
Yeah,
never
it's
been to that
amazing.
side of town, I gotta say.
1920s building.
Hasta me perdí allí en, can I say the city?
Yeah.
Can I say or
Yes,
no?
Hancock Park.
Park.
Yeah.
I had never
yes.
even heard of it. Para que veas, niña del barrio.
beautiful.
Yo, de downtown no salía. No, but that was an iconic party that brought Janett and I together. And then, I never told you this. I think maybe I did. I remember the whole night Omar me estaba texteando.
That's right. That's when you guys
What?
were first.
It was a Friday. I think it was a Friday. I think it was a Friday. And he kept texting me y me decía, mi amor, estoy jugando póker con mis amigos. He would play poker with his friends. And I'm like, okay, have fun.
You're at this wild Hollywood
Siempre me
party.
reportaba cosas. You know, something very
Exactly.
sweet about Omar is that he would always like keep me in the loop. Like, do your thing
Yeah.
with
Love
your
that.
friends. I'm doing my thing with my friends.
Yes.
Y yo esa noche pensaba,
No lo trajiste a la fiesta.
no, porque tú me invitaste a mí. You invited
Oh.
me. And it was such a great party that I did not want to leave the party.
I,
But at the
I
same
don't think we knew
time-
about Omar yet.
I don't think he
don't
knew.
think so.
No.
No,
yet.
you have
Nobody
kept it
knew.
a little
No,
secret.
you told me you were dating someone.
Oh,
But I didn't tell you
You
who.
didn't tell me who.
Okay. Well, so I want to be at the party because it's happening.
Yeah.
But same time, you know, cuando estás enamoradilla.
a
Yeah.
little in love.
Because
have
you've done it.
FOMO?
You did it to us. You
Yes.
did it
Few
to
times.
us. Few times. Donde dejas a las amigas porque te
Like,
está esperando el
bye.
galán. Pues Omar me texteaba. Pues,
Bye.
bye. I gotta go. you know?
She had to go home to get some vitamin D.
Yes. That's the first time I hear that. Vitamin D.
Vitamin D. Oh, yeah.
Pues sí tiene vitamina. No.
You have to take it at
Mi mamá está
midnight.
escuchando, chicas. My mom is listening. No, I don't think so. Ma,
think so.
usted haga como que no sabe nada.
No entiende,
Pero
no
Omar
entiende.
is listening. Anyways, I left the party because I wanted to be with him. So right now he's feeling, yeah, I did that. You know? Pero it was such an iconic night. And that's how we met. And here we are now, no? Now, so you met at work, obviously.
So we met through LATV.
Yeah.
So how did it deepen into, how did it cross from work to personal
comadres.
to where you're
I
comadres
think,
now?
I think just like everybody that you meet, there are tons of people that you meet throughout your life, but there are those very like few people that you connect with on a deeper level, right?
Yeah.
And maybe it's just a conversation that you have y volteas and you're like, esta es de las mías, you
Sí,
know?
yes.
And sometimes people are cool, pero it just no
Yeah.
pega, you
Yeah.
know? El chicle
Yeah.
no pega,
Yeah.
you know?
Connection.
Yeah, we had
We just had a
Yeah, we got
connection.
along really well at LATV, and then we both went our separate ways. And a few years, I don't know, like not maybe I wouldn't say years, but yeah, maybe a while.
We were
passed
connecting,
by.
pero you know, there's sometimes you don't see
Yeah.
each
Yeah.
other for a while.
So
Exactly.
right after LATV, I went to work for E News.
E-News,
And
okay.
E-News,
yeah.
I worked there for over 5 years on the news desk, and she called me and she's like, you know, I'm looking for work if you hear of
Yep.
anything. And so they were launching the show The Daily 10 on
That's
E.
right.
The Daily
And they were
10.
looking for an assignment, somebody to work on the assignment desk, and I was like, "Oh, Janet." So
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
connect. I don't know how. I don't even know. The rest is history. But yeah, we sat side by side, literally.
Yeah.
Like we shared one. You know, it was like a big desk on around a cubicle, and you know, we sat side by side.
That's
and then
right.
I think we were like the only two Latinas at the time.
Ah.
So
we were.
yeah, we were the Latinas.
Love
Yeah,
that.
we were the
Wow.
Latinas. So, you know, when somebody would upset us, we'd be like, ay, esa cabrona. So, you know, so we'd always
Die. Vamos al patio.
Sí,
tengo que
vamos al
hablar.
patio a platicar.
I
Vamos a
love
caminar.
that.
Vamos a comprar
Conferencia.
So you guys were each other's support.
Oh,
We
big
were.
time.
You had to.
Well, we were
Yeah.
at E because I was on the Daily 10, the desk, and it was intense, right? Because back then we would break news, and so we were there. You would arrive like on 5, 6 in the morning,
Yeah.
and then sometimes we would leave till 5, 6 in the
Yeah.
evening.
But we didn't have
because
kids
We
yet.
didn't. We had
We had
the
events.
best
Oh my God, yes. This
time.
was
And we'll get into this later.
yes.
But we have
working
had,
for E Network at the time.
That is a
was
dream.
Like,
and there'll be some behind the scenes of
That
that.
must have been
for
fun.
everybody.
we will talk
Yeah,
about our
we'll talk
time
about
at E,
that.
but we
Yeah.
worked at E in its prime.
That is awesome.
So no matter where we went, all we had to say was, "We're with E." Oh,
And
part of
that's
the-
right.
yeah.
You
We'll
were
we'll
in
talk
on
more
that.
about that and how great that was. So,
Everything.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's when we met, and then I even went to her wedding.
That's right.
And I don't know, we just became close
Always
friends.
been very.
bonded.
And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
6 years ago, 5 years ago,
Yeah.
I asked her and her husband to be the godparents to my daughter Sienna.
Which
Aw.
was
I
our
love that.
Yeah.
biggest blessing.
honor.
Like I
And we're
love
so- and
that
I'm
little
so lucky.
girl.
Mm.
I like my own, like truly.
Yeah.
She's
So
so
cute.
beautiful.
She's adorable.
Beautiful.
Thank
I've
you.
met her. She's like
Yes.
the
She's my
spirit in
little
your eyes.
sweet little
Todo
girl.
ahorita.
And that's why we're Comadres Unfiltered. We're
Yeah,
comadres,
we're
right?
comadres.
True
Comadres.
comadres.
And then
I
funny
love
story
it.
about you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
is-
God, this is crazy.
Do I know this?
When I
A
was
ver.
in college and I was interning for my internship class.
Oh, yeah.
I interned at Telemundo, but I remember seeing you. You were just I was like 20, 21, and you were only like 24-ish. You're only a couple of years older than me, but you were already on air, and that's what I was going to school for, to be a broadcast journalist. And I remember going like, I want to be like her. Look, she's so young. She's on Telemundo. She's doing entertainment news, and that was my goal. I wanted to be a reporter on Spanish television, an entertainment reporter. I wanted to be beautiful like you and young, and I loved your energy. So when I was at Telemundo, 52.
Sí.
I was interning, and I went on assignment with you 2 or 3 times.
Oh my
And I remember
gosh.
sitting in the back of the van like, oh my God, I'm with Argelia Atilano. Like,
Y no era nadie. O sea, no era nadie.
Oh my
Era una
God.
but it's
cosa.
funny when you said right now, like how nervous you would get because you were just starting and you
Yeah.
felt so nervous. And I'm like, see, I didn't see you like that.
No.
I
girl.
was like this little girl.
Girl,
well,
you
not
want to
little
know?
girl. Like
I
said,
even
just-
got shingles.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
It was
Stop it.
the stress that I had. I guess I did hide it very well
Yes, you
Yeah.
during that time because remember, I was the youngest in that newsroom. So así como las trataban
Yeah.
ustedes en E! News,
Yeah.
a mí me trataban así como, this is
newbie.
la intern, and then like they forgot
Yeah.
I was hired,
Yeah.
but they still saw me as an intern.
Yeah.
Like just because I'm the new reporter doesn't mean. They were busy.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
So many reporters and colleagues at the time saw me still as an intern,
And so young too.
Manden a Argelia que cubra el press. Manden a Argelia,
Yeah.
like era la mandadera reporter, really.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't care. I'm
Yes.
taking this
I'll take it.
opportunity.
Yes.
Like I'm gonna show them that I
Yes.
got something, and I don't want to move out of the city of LA. You know, because
Yes.
they teach you that you have to
Right.
start somewhere far.
Like small town.
But honestly, Diana, you bringing that story when you did share it with me, I was like, so many interns went by during the time that I was a reporter that I don't remember you.
It's okay.
Y me dio tanta pena porque pues imagínate, fue tanto tiempo atrás.
Yes.
Pero thank you for bringing it up to me, because it means the world to know that we were already sharing a space
Right.
together without knowing.
Yes.
That
Oh my
20
God.
plus
I
years
never would have
later-
thought
But
that.
the wild thing, look, a full circle.
wild.
Yeah.
It's just, it's funny because we do talk about this, right? Like, we are brought into our lives for a reason,
Yeah.
right? And or a
Yeah.
season or
Yeah.
a lifetime, whatever it is. But the fact that
That happened.
Right?
and now we are here.
Well, it's so funny because
That's
that
wild.
happened,
That's very
and I
wild.
couldn't recall. I already have. I don't know what this is called. What is it called? Like when you get a foggy brain, no? It's
Yes.
La mitad de los recuerdos, they're very foggy. I don't know if it's a
Brain
good thing
fog.
or a bad thing.
There's also been a lot of memories.
yeah, can be and great ones too, and not so great ones.
It's like a phone. You have only so
Yeah.
much you can
Memory,
retain
right?
in there.
But
you
the thing
know?
is that another incident that I had with Diana was thanks to our daughters. Camila was in the swimming
That's
Yes.
era at a time, so I was doing the swim meets at
Yes.
5 or 6 o'clock in the
Yes.
morning. And
So you
again,
met again.
Diana,
we met
we
there.
met
Yes.
again, and she
Yeah.
came up to me
Wow,
and
it's
she's like,
meant
hey,
to be.
da, 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 da. Y yo así como, who are you? No.
Yes.
Y me dijo, Janett, I am
Yes.
Janett. Da, da, da. Yeah. So it came. It slowly started to register.
Yeah, and then we started seeing each other
And
at
then
some
we-
events,
yeah.
like the kids'
Yes.
birthday
The daughters.
parties and stuff
Yes.
like that.
And so-
I think that's how we met too, at a party.
Yes.
You and I.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. A party, of course.
So what if
course.
it's like
Arrange something.
hacer fiesta, no?
Pachangueras.
Yes.
Janet.
Yes,
Yeah.
through
We
Janet.
all connected each other.
Yes,
Yeah.
through
It's-
Janet.
It's such a great bond that we have
Yeah.
because of that history. And we
It
all
is.
came together, and I can't even believe that we're here.
We're here, girls, and
We are
hopefully,
here in this podcast, in this room that we put together.
literally,
This is
Amazing.
wild.
it's wild how we are here today, and hopefully our stories will resonate and will inspire friends, girlfriends, sisters to create a passion project. It doesn't have to be a podcast. It can be anything, right? And I guess this is where I want to go a little bit deeper about supporting each other, our dreams, women having women's back.
Yes.
Have you guys heard that saying in Spanish de que la peor enemiga de una mujer es otra mujer?
oh,
See.
yeah. I've heard that.
There's a
Yes.
special place in hell, right?
Yeah.
For them. But I grew up hearing that a lot
Yeah.
through my mom, my tias, with even friends. La peor enemiga de una mujer es otra mujer. So we're always, I feel like there are industries like ours
Yes.
where we felt threatened or we were a threat without even knowing. Because I can tell you stories about, fallout friendships that didn't grow because I was a threat or she was a threat. And instead of supporting each other and saying, no, let's, do this thing together, it's like we became competition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Entonces sí somos competencia sometimes
Yes.
at work, and instead of helping each other out, we are an obstacle. So do you think that it really is a true fact in our lives, or is it just something that's here in our head?
I think it really happens. It really is out there, and I think that we need to squash that. I think that, we should support each other.
Yeah.
I mean, right? We
I
should
think-
support each other. We're all
Yeah.
women, and we're stronger together. What do you girls think?
I also think that as you get older, you start to learn how to filter those people out. Like
Yes.
you just
Exactly.
know. You
Yes.
kind of start knowing who has your back and who doesn't.
Yes.
And who supports you.
Uh-huh.
And like I feel like 10 years ago I was always scared of why give another seed, what are people going to think of me and this and that. And now I don't want to say I don't care. Obviously, you still have dignity.
But you
and
care less.
But you care less.
Yeah,
And you
because
know
you're
your
secure.
circle of friends and you wouldn't do things with people that aren't supporting you.
Exactly.
And but I definitely think that there are mean women out there who feel
For sure.
and you know what? That's their own insecurities. And that's something that I've learned. It's their own insecurities. It's not me. I'm not the threat. They're threatened.
They're the threat,
They
yeah.
feel threatened.
You know, it's also situational and societal, right? When you are younger, there is unless you have somebody that you're looking up to that is helping you out, you almost feel like you have to claw your way and figure things out on your own. And
So
this is,
true.
this is the cool part about having a podcast just like this.
Did your nail just
Girl, trying to ignore it. These are the press-ons.
her
I'm
nail just
having a
flew
serious.
La uña salió volando,
Of
amiga.
course.
Show us your hand. Let me see.
Of course.
Of
And
course.
it's the middle
It's
finger,
not-
right? As we're having this
Show us
conversation.
the finger.
You should have done that to me.
I know, right?
Shut up, Diana.
No, but it is. It's situational. It's societal. I think that, when we are younger, when we don't have an example of what that looks like, of what that ladder looks like, we're just clawing at what we can get, right? And so, and some people claw harder than others. And so I think the older we get, we see that there is room for
Yes.
everybody because
Yes.
we have experienced it, right? And so
Yeah.
the younger ones, they haven't experienced that, and they just feel like the person right next to them is their competition, right? And in moments where you are interviewing for something that could be the direct competition, but then it's like that protagonist, like they might be looking for brunette and you're a blonde, like it had
Exactly.
nothing to do with you anyways,
Exactly.
But you have a bigger view of life, and when you go into these situations and when you see another woman, like you become more secure with who you are, and the things that are for you will be for you, and the things that aren't for you were never meant for you. And that happens with time or with mentorship, right?
Sí.
And that's the other thing that we
Yes.
love about this podcast, that hopefully we inspire and we mentor a lot of the women who are younger, and it's kind of like talking to little Janett or little Argelia or little Mindy or little Diana, and just telling them, like, you got this.
Yes.
Like, you're good.
Yes.
Like, that person, like, don't worry, just focus on yourself.
Yeah.
Or
Exactly.
try this, right? Or
Yeah.
like, try this
Don't
path.
be afraid.
Right?
Be yourself.
There's so many
Stay
paths.
authentic.
See.
So I think that
Absolutely.
is part of it as well. And then you find more people that think like you, more people that celebrate each other's successes. And those are the people that you stick. Those are the chicles that you find and
Yeah.
you collect, right? You collect those people
Yes.
more, and the people that celebrate you and that you celebrate them, and you put energy into
Yeah.
those people more. Right?
I mean, mean girls are a real thing.
there are.
And it's all because of insecurities,
See,
I mean,
there are mean
and,
girls,
And
yeah.
honestly, a lot of really pretty girls. That's what I've noticed too. Like the more good looking you are.
Oh, in LA,
in LA,
especially.
it is like the regular girls don't talk to you. The circle of friends are different. They don't want to let you in because you're kind of like a threat.
Sí.
Sometimes even I've seen it even with couples. They're like, oh, gotta stay a little away,
Yeah.
and it's all based in insecurity.
Insecurity.
What do they
See.
say? Hurt people.
Yes,
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Hurt
Yeah.
people hurt
Yeah.
people, and you see it, and you're just like, it's
Yeah.
good, like it's okay, like
It's okay.
if I am not wanted in that space, I'm okay.
Yes.
I've said this to you guys many times. I think one of my criteria for forming friendships is, and it's not necessarily it's happened, but if I feel like I'm gonna get up from a table that we've been talking, and I feel like I'm going to be spoken about in a negative light, like I won't sit at that table anymore.
Exactly.
Right? Because that isn't, I just have so much going on. I don't
So
need that
true.
energy.
You don't.
Right? So
Life
then
is
you
too
move
short
on.
to be
Way too
spending
short.
it with
I saw
persons.
this quote on Instagram, of course, and it says, "You may not be everybody's cup of tea because you're champagne, baby."
Ooh,
Or
I
tequila.
like that.
Or tequila.
Thank you, Instagram, for these wonderful
Perfect
quotes.
moment for a
yes.
salute.
Yes, yes.
Hey, you mentioned champagne, and
Well,
that's what
that's
we're drinking.
right.
So.
Drink up.
Janet, I
Cheers
love
to
what you
that.
said, because I've been in that position where I've looked forward to meeting a girlfriend. And when I leave after a few hours, I feel weird.
Drained.
Yeah, like mentally it was draining, emotionally, and then I'm doubting myself. Did I say this right? Did I hurt her feelings?
Like you're walking on eggshells.
Totalmente. And I'm like, this is, and then I question myself, is this a true friendship? But then why am I even here? Because in the end, I still like feel love and
Yeah.
compassion and maybe sorry. And I feel like, let me try to be here for you because maybe you don't have enough friends. But here I am for you.
Right.
But in the end, that energy does drain
It's
me.
draining.
And then I come home and I feel like I'm crying in my closet. You know,
Right.
I have had that situation happen many times, and I've actually talked to my daughters about this because they're going through, you know, phase teenage years. That's when it starts.
Friendships,
Middle school,
yes.
you start feeling, you know, you have to start learning how to weed out the true friendships and the ones that are just there to hurt you, you know. But right now, you guys also mentioned the older we get, we learn to be more secure about ourselves. But talking about security, do you feel that at our age, at this point in life, I'm 49. I'm never afraid to say my age. Al contrario, me encanta decir tengo 49 and this is how damn good I look and feel.
Yes,
Right? You know?
I've been working for it.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
But it's never too late to start, right? Because a lot of women, I feel like, no, I'm already 40. It's past my prime. It's too late to do this. And I think the beauty of this podcast today is that we want to tell women that it's never too late to start all over again.
It's
right?
never too late
Never
to
too
reinvent
late.
It's
yourself.
never too late to reinvent yourself. It's starting all over again with fear, yes, because I'm scared.
Absolutely.
Not, you know what? I'm not scared about this at all. I'm scared about my other stuff going on
Yeah.
with my, you know, that part of the show with Omar. But it's a good kind of scared, and the fear that pushes you forward, not the one that stops you on your tracks. But I think there's a lot of women that are just on pause, waiting for something, waiting for a sign, and then guess what?
Or thinking it's too late.
It's too late. But no, one day they're gonna wake up and
Right.
shoot, I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm 70.
We have one life.
One life.
One life.
YOLO.
And the clock is ticking. So whether you start it a week, a month from now, I mean, that clock is still going. So just do something that you love. And that goes for every part of our lives,
Sí.
right?
Yes.
If
Yes.
something is suffering, like make it better, because that clock is not turning backwards for
No.
anyone or anything.
Absolutely.
And we got to live our best lives. You know, we have to
Exactly.
show our kids that we can live our best lives. We have to show ourselves that we can live our
And
best
life
lives.
is short. You don't want to be
Yes.
on your deathbed going, damn,
should've."
I should have done this. I should have done that. You know, I see my mom. My mom is 77, going through some big health issues. You know, her health has deteriorated. And I just, you know, it's like, I think about all the things she didn't get to do. And I'm like, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be, you know, and you never know. I could be, knock on wood, struck with an illness in a couple of years. I don't want to regret then going, I should have done this. I should have done that podcast. I should have become a fitness trainer. I'm so happy that I'm doing that.
Yes.
I'm just doing it. And like you said, it is scary, but I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Here
You
I
just have
am.
to be fearless.
And
at some
like you
point.
said, we have daughters that are watching us.
Yes.
And I that is my biggest thing right now. I want to inspire my daughters.
That is my
Yes.
biggest motivator is my daughter.
Yes.
You know, and the truth is, here we are, and I'm the oldest here. So I am a
How old are
good
you, Mindy?
I'm 55 years old.
Go, girl!
Talk
Wow.
about,
God.
talk about reinventing yourself.
Yes.
You are the
After
hottest
50.
MILF.
Salud.
Okay.
Ah, the hottest.
Yeah, that's right.
You're the hottest what?
MILF.
Oh, wow. Love it.
She likes it.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Salud.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers to that. But yes, I want to inspire other women also that you know, are my age, to just go for it. You know, you're never too old to start something new, to reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
It's never too late to give it all you got. I mean, here I am starting to work out again. You know,
Yeah.
catching that
Yeah.
second wind of, you know what?
Sí.
I could build muscle.
See?
Let's go for it. You know, I can
I'll
do
be your
this.
trainer.
Yes.
But you know what? You know
All right,
what's-
pause.
I'm motivated.
People are still freaking out that you're 50.
No.
Hey, yo, esas
Yes, this is
piernas. I mean,
real.
look at those
This
legs,
is
girl.
Stand up. No, you want to
no,
mess
no.
up your
Oh my
microphone,
gosh.
but yes.
But you know what's admirable about you three ladies? That you have taken a pause in your life. Like many women have taken a pause for the house, for the family, for the parenting. I have not taken a pause. Well, I did take like a 6-month pause,
That
and-
is so
but that
true.
doesn't count. I feel like
That's called sleep for you.
yeah,
You
I
needed
know.
6 months
catching up on my sleep.
Yeah, no kidding.
But does it feel? I want to put myself in your shoes because after years of pausing, and I know that during your sabbatical, if we want to call it
Yes,
that,
yes.
you went from the music industry to stay-at-home mom and wife, and then you picked up photography, and you launched your photography business without knowing, o sea, una industria muy diferente to anything that you had done in the past.
I mean, I'm a creative. I love creating. I always have been into music and just being creative. And when I left Warner Music and I left the industry, and got married, right away I got pregnant with my daughter. I mean, I was pregnant at 39, and I had her when I was 40.
Wow.
My daughter, who's now close to 15.
Uh-huh.
So so much has happened,
so much.
I mean, I gave up my career, and it wasn't forced on me.
Uh-huh.
You know, we made a decision, and it was the best decision.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, I really missed being in the entertainment industry and being productive and working, being out there.
So when
It
you
was
would
a whole
see
new life.
pictures and friends that are still in the industry,
I
would
would
you
miss it.
have a moment?
Oh, yeah. I disconnected from all of the connections that I used to have in the entertainment industry.
Sí.
And I really mourned that. I went through that phase.
That's right.
That's important that you bring that up, Mindy, because even though we as women take a step back and pause, right, with love for our family, for our children, there's still that one part of us that is yearning for who we were before becoming a wife and a mom.
It's almost like we lose our identity.
Absolutely.
See, it does happen.
And
you
now,
when you're changing diapers and you're vacuuming at 10 o'clock at night, your kids are asleep and you haven't showered, and you're just like, fuck, like this is not like, I don't want to be doing this 24/7, and yet there you are doing it 24/7. And it's not, like you said, it's not that you didn't want your kids or you didn't want to be married. It's
You're
just
missing
like,
Diana.
You miss that part.
You're missing Diana.
I miss, that at 10 o'clock at night, I was just getting to an event,
Yes.
Eminem, we were waiting for Eminem to hit the stage, for the grand opening of some restaurant or something.
Yeah.
Like, it just, I missed that. And it wasn't
really
like the partying or that. It's just like you said, like my identity. Like that, I mean, when I was working at E, it's like everybody wanted us to be at their events. Diana, are you sure you can't make it to the grand opening of this or the launch party for that? And I'd be like, what time? 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. I had to be at work at 5 a.m. But it's funny. Then I had kids. I was like, shit, I want to be there at that party at 9 o'clock instead of breastfeeding or pumping at 11 o'clock at night.
Exactly.
You do miss that part.
But I think that you
part.
hit the nail on the head. I think when you do make a decision, when you have your kids, we had amazing careers.
We
have had amazing careers. And this decision was not easy, right? Especially at the time when we made it. Because those are the formative years where you just move in a higher direction or a different direction. And so making these decisions, you don't take them lightly. Like, when I made this decision to stay home with the kids, I was choosing my kids and my part of myself with my kids, because that was bringing me greater joy. And that doesn't mean that I wasn't missing the other side, right?
Yes.
Because
So
we
true.
were.
Absolutely.
We've talked about this at no end, where we mourn that side, but that doesn't mean that I regret making the choice that I made, right?
We actually became closer too.
we
because
did.
we did a lot of stuff with our kids together.
Well,
they were the same age.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there was a lot of play dates together.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
We're all teenage moms.
Yes.
Believe it or not, you are going through the same, how interesting is that, phase with our children, where there are days where
I
we
need more
love
champagne to
them.
discuss that. Teenagers. Woo!
We are all and I think that's the beauty of us. Again, otra vez, la vida nos da otra fase para conectar más. We've been sharing a lot of stories about
Parenthood.
our teenage daughters,
Yes.
and we weren't taught. We don't know how to be teenage moms
right.
They don't
because
come with manuals,
it's like I
right?
tell
So-
my daughters, you know what, I know you're going through a moment, but you got to be patient with me too, because I'm also learning how to be a teenage mom.
That's right.
This is the first time I'm going through
And
this
our
phase with you.
teenagers are having different experiences from what we grew up.
So
we
we
are
can't
not
compare
raising ourselves.
We cannot
That is for
compare
sure.
our teenage years to theirs, because that would be very unfair.
Yeah.
It's just different times, right? Our
So
the way our
different.
moms raised us.
Diferentes costumbres.
Con la chancla.
Oh no, sí. No me decía, "Ay, Argelia tan mensa." O sea, if I would say that to Cami
Oh my
or
God.
Bella, I mean, se
No.
trauman de
Yes.
por vida, y para
That's
mí
been
it's like
the hardest part,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's we are not raising ourselves.
Exactly.
And then navigating that as a mom when our kids are having very, very different experiences than we had when we were growing up, and learning how to parent these new kids. That's been
In a new
that's
country.
in a new
Yeah, in another country.
yes, and all of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
I think we have to wrap this up, girls, because we can be here for
Think
hours. This
so.
is
Oh my
okay.
gosh.
So this is
Yes.
the issue with us.
This is it.
Yes.
I knew this was going to be the biggest challenge. Poor David, our producer, star producer.
Yay! Cheers to
Pobrecito.
David!
This drink is for him because
Yes.
Salud,
Yes.
pobrecito.
David.
He's going to be
David.
dealing with 4 women, venting and laughing and crying and screaming. And pobrecito, I'm so sorry, David, but yes, this one's for you, hon. We could be here for hours. This is why we started a podcast, because every time we would go out to lunch or brunch or dinner or even coffee, it's like
It was never enough.
ending.
It was
How
never
many
enough.
times have we been having a conversation? We're like, oh my gosh, this would make a great
Yes,
podcast topic.
Matter of fact, all our Zoom meetings would have
Yes.
been amazing episodes, but I think
Yes.
we have an issue. We have an issue in this room. We need a clock.
I
We
think
need
so
a clock. We need or to put our alarm, because
true.
otherwise we're gonna be here till midnight.
Yes.
So I think to wrap this up, let's talk about the power of owning our dream. Right, this is a dream.
Yes.
Yes,
What we're
it
living
is.
today.
It is.
This recording of this episode is a freaking dream come
Hell
true.
Yeah.
And
See.
I think that we also need to own all the ugliness that comes when building a dream. Even though I feel like we're very lucky, because I don't
Sacrifices.
think we saw any
Yes.
ugliness in our end, but we did see challenges, you know. But look at our studio. I mean, look at this.
Oh my
This
god.
This is a
gorgeous.
lot of
Right?
hard work.
A
lot of
work.
passion.
Right? A
We
lot
all
of
came
passion.
together
Yes.
for this. And
Yes.
There was
I
a
just
lot of
love it.
meetings. I mean, there was meetings. How many meetings did we have about just picking out this side?
I know.
How cool is our sign?
I
love
know.
it.
How cool
Love
is
it.
our beautiful logo, right?
Yes.
But yes, let's talk about the empowerment of owning our own dream, and hopefully inspire other women to say, today I made my dream come true, because
No matter how
no
old
matter
you
how
are.
old I am, right? Or the
Yes.
challenges or where they are
Exactly.
in
Just
life.
getting to
We're just getting started.
have our voices heard, right? And I think that's what happens with a lot of women that we get older. It's like we get drowned out, right? And our voices aren't heard. And so this is a wonderful space to remind all of us, all of our Comadre Tribe and ourselves, that our voices matter. And we have
No matter
an
what
opinion,
age.
you know, and no matter what age, absolutely.
I think that's the beauty of this episode, that we are here, one, to introduce ourselves
Yes.
to the world.
Yes.
We want to believe that, other parts of the world will be able to watch us, women from Mexico, Latin America, Europe, Asia, donde sea, no? But also for that one, if we could lighten up the life of one woman, una mujer, if we can make their day by making them laugh, or just when they finish hearing this podcast episode, like, wow, you know what? If they were able to do it at their age, then I can freaking do it too, right?
That's right.
If we can inspire
Yes.
one,
If we can inspire.
we're winning.
And that's the thing. I guess that's another topic. We are not here to tell you that we are experts, because we are also learning as we go, and we're here to learn, from each other, and to
Yes.
share our own knowledge. So I think with everything that we've lived on our own, with our marriages, with our divorces, with our parenting, with our careers, right? In the end, we are here to still keep on learning.
Yeah.
And how beautiful is it to share our knowledge?
That's right.
I think that's the
Yes.
power of this podcast. Sharing our knowledge,
That's right. I love
sharing
that.
our wisdom at our age, at 49, at 55, at 45, at 40.
43.
The baby!
baby.
La bebé!
Yeah.
I think that's the
I
beauty.
love to be called a baby
The
at
baby.
43.
You're always
by
going to
way.
be the
Keep
baby.
going.
You're always going to be la bebé.
Keep going.
Era bebecita, era bebesota, friquitona.
Oh, we're going there. See, another 15 minutes. Here we go.
Oh my God, oh my
Here
God.
we go. Catching our second win.
Catching our second win. So, girls, we're about to wrap it up. How do
Second
you
win.
feel?
We're doing our second act.
Yes.
This is what our life is right now. It's the
second
second
act.
act.
Second act
Second
starts
now.
Now.
That's right.
Cheers to
Cheers
that.
to that.
And we also
Second
want to
salud.
invite all
Yes.
those comadritas out there.
Yes.
All
Yes.
those amazing women out there to join our tribe.
Yes.
And we want to hear what you want to hear.
I love that.
So, sign up.
Slide into our DMs.
Yes, slide into our DMs.
I'm glad you bring that up. There's definitely social media platforms that we
Yes.
have. So we would love it for you to join our social media
Yes.
family. We have, obviously, our podcast is available everywhere. Apple,
Yes.
Spotify, and wherever you can find your podcast. We are also on
Facebook.
Facebook
We are on YouTube.
and
Instagram. That's where you can
Yes.
slide into our DMs.
that's right. Comadres Unfiltered is the name of our podcast. Girls, this has been amazing to
Yes,
finally
it is.
be able to say the baby has been born.
Baby's been born.
And we are just getting started.
Right.
Just getting started.
Salud,
That's
amiguitas,
right.
comadritas.
Salud.
Yes,
You know what?
Salud.
Comadres
Salud.
Unfiltered is not only a podcast. As of now, it is more than a tribe. It is
That's right.
a movement.
Yes.
Comadres Unfiltered movement. Salud.
Yes.
We
Cheers
love
to
you.
that.
Salud.
Salud.
Subscribe and follow us. Y ya saben, entre más
Join
comadres, mejor.
Mejor.
Eso.
Absolutely.
Las adoro, chulas.
Cheers.
Comis.
Love you, girls.
Viva las comis. Woohoo.
Viva
Viva
las
las
comadres.
comadres.
Salud, my
Yes.
loves.
Viva las comis.
Ahora sí traigan el tequila, ¿eh?
Act 2.